A few words before we begin. I started my anime career in 1999 at ADV Films. Ghost Stories was recorded in 2005, and for 9 years it had a relatively good cult hit status. In 2014, I left the anime industry, and that same year, YouTube discovers Ghost Stories and it blows up. There are over 200 compilations, clips, reaction videos, debates, opinion pieces, analyses, too many memes to count. There's one drinking game and two rap odes, I believe, and all these have tens of millions of views, and they get thousands of views every day. There's very little actual information published about the show, so in that vacuum, there's been a whole mythology that's kind of grown up around it. And except for making a few comments, 100 comments deep on a Ghost Stories YouTube video, I was totally content in letting that mythology stand. Now, when I was in the business, I was a little controversial, mostly because some of the fans didn't like my script changes. So I knew I had somewhat of a reputation. And now, I don't mind criticism. I don't mind if you don't like my shows. I don't mind if you don't like me. But when they start making up lies about me and they pull stuff from my website or my book to justify their bullshit and people believe them, that's where I draw the fucking line.
This guy's a big-time asshole.
I don't follow anime, so I wasn't aware that thanks to a handful of vloggers that people believed that about me. For one example, there's this kid that I knew way back at ADV, and his company Discotheque Media was going to do a special edition Ghost Stories DVD. Steven, I got your wonderful message on Twitter and wanted to reach out. I hope you're doing well. Hang on. Eek! Okay, I'm back. The big-time executive. I'm surprised you took my call. Let me take you out for a drink. I would love to talk. It's total fucking fate this is happening. So excited. I'm no big-time executive, just working hard and stuff. Just more in charge of my projects. What did people tell you? Ha ha ha. I know that reached out to you and did an interview with you for Ghost Stories. I was the one who encouraged him to. I told him not to believe the bullshit on the internet and that you were one of the nicest people I ever worked with. Ah, thanks. They do like to run me into the ground, don't they? I really appreciate you sticking up for me. I just think it's unfair when I'm like, I know the guy. And I were dumb teenagers who most directors brushed off, and you went out of your way to help us. So it bugs me. It's one thing to not like someone's work, and I have seen fair criticisms, but when you don't even know the guy and you're being mean, that's unfair. Ghost Stories wasn't one of my projects, but when I saw it on the horizon, I was like, yeah, reach out to Steven. I'm sure he'd love to talk about it. He came back to me and was like, oh yeah, he was great. And I was like, yeah, I told you. Are you getting it? This guy was not going to talk to me because he believed all the bullshit that people have said about me online. I'll be damned if I'm going to let a few asshats on YouTube with megaphones write my legacy. Fuck that. Because I am one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Now, my haters are going to say this video is one big ego trip. Well, here's some ego for you. I was the baddest motherfucking dub writer-director this industry's had in 50 years, and this video isn't for you, so you can kiss my ass. The rest of you amazing people, let's get this party started.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Hi, I'm Stephen Foster. I'm the writer and director of the Ghost Stories dub. Welcome to part 2 of Truth Revealed, Lies Exposed, Myths Debunked, and Misconceptions Straightened Out Once and for All. There are basically 9 beliefs about ghost stories. Some are true, some are myths, some are lies, some are misconceptions. And we covered most of them last episode, but this time we're going to do number 1. Before we do that, let's hit all of the other 9. Number 9, Ghost Stories was the first abridged dub. That might be true. Number 8, the Ghost Stories dub was so successful it was translated into Japanese. That's a myth. Number 7, the first actor on the day set things up and everyone had to follow their lead. We'll get back to that one later in this episode. Number 6, Japan told ADV they had to fit the flaps. That's a lie. That was our job. They didn't have to tell us to do that. Number 5, Japan said we could not change the way the ghosts were put to spiritual sleep. That's kind of a misconception because we really couldn't change the way the ghosts were put to spiritual sleep because it's animated. It was animated and we couldn't do that. Number 4, Japan said we had to keep the names of the characters. True, maybe? Truth is, I really don't remember. I don't think so, but we'll just say it was. And number 3, Japan said we need to keep the names of the ghosts. That was true, 100% true. Number 2, the original Ghost Stories was actually a big success and Steven lied about it being a flop. Okay, one is a misconception and the other is bullshit. I didn't do that. Check out the previous episode and you'll find out why. And now it's time for the number 1 belief about ghost stories is the entire show was ad-libbed by the cast. Okay, that's a little bit of a myth and a little bit of a lie. Let me explain.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
The way anime is produced, you don't know anything when you go into the. You may know the character you're playing because you auditioned for it, but you don't get like a dossier or anything like that. They may now, but they didn't back then. I mean, they came in thinking like, "Hi, you're playing Giorgio, and he's the hero, and he's really good looking, and he hates women." Secretly, whatever. And so they would do the lines and they would see, and they would be seeing this for the first time. They wouldn't be like, and we barely showed it to them once. I mean, we basically presented to wing it. You know, the monster's coming, you know he's coming, so go. And so we record it like that. So this isn't exactly how it goes, but this is a good facsimile. So you like sign the contract and it says you're playing Shizuko and she's the leader of a boy harem or something. Then we show them the scene, so they get a little bit of the scene set up. Then pretend this was how it was for the recording of Ghost Stories. Every actor would then have to come in with a joke setup or a punchline for a joke that was previously recorded that they didn't know about. And it had to be fast because it was studio time and time is money, so you couldn't, take 10 minutes to come up with a line. Plus it had to be funny and it had to fit the flaps. So not a small job. Now this is our booth and this will be where they see the scene. So instead of saying lines, we're gonna do pictures instead so you can see how it kind of does match the scene. Got it? Here comes our first actor. Hi, Charlie. The scene is an old house. And remember, you don't have much time. And you've got to be funny. And you got to fit the flaps. And go. Okay, give me a joke.
Black and white cobra.
No.
Pink carnation.
The grass is dead. That doesn't fit.
Captain America t-shirt.
No. Hurry, Charlie.
Concord grapes.
No.
Black and white vintage gasoline pump.
That might work. It goes perfectly, and it fits the flaps. It's perfect. It's funny. It's great. We love it. Okay, next one. Multicolored hallway. Recording.
Scummy payphone.
No, that didn't do anything.
White cassette tape.
That makes no sense. Hurry.
Bitcoin.
No.
3 deflated heart balloons.
Now that works. No, I don't like it. Try again.
Superman standing on a purple stool with a purple phone.
Oh, that's fucked up. I like that. That's fucked up. That's nice. Yeah. Put that in there. Great. That's fantastic. Perfect. Good job, Charlie. And the next actor saunters in. Hi, Leo. So come up with a punchline for the joke that you're about to hear. Got it? And then, I know you've never heard it before, but give it your best shot. Ad-lib. Ad-lib it. And do it fast. It has to be funny. And yeah, fit the flaps. Okay. Go.
Blue robot hand.
That line doesn't go with the gas pump at all.
Buttered toast.
I don't get it.
Party squirrel.
Oh, no, that's funny. Party squirrel's funny. I like that. But it doesn't really go with the gas pump.
Party squirrel on a gas pump.
Oh, now that's hysterical. That's great. That works perfectly with the gas pump. That's great. Everything's great. Great. Wonderful job. Here's your next one. You got Superman on a purple stool with a purple phone, and he's in a multicolored room. Go.
Blue car.
No.
Pink flamingo ice cream cone.
No, that's fucked up. Let's see if it works. I'm sorry. I don't think it's. I thought it was funny first, but I don't like it anymore.
Multicolored smoke.
Oh, now that fits. That fits great. Very great. It's not very funny though.
What if he's fighting the smoke?
Oh, that's hilarious. Why, that's great. Good job. Wonderful. So they did it. Now get them to do it 40 to 55 more times an hour for 2 to 3 hours. Now this continues the whole cycle of the show, right? Then you've got the other actors coming in, and so, like, here's Peter. Peter's guessing stuff, and he's coming up with jokes, and then Amanda comes in, and she's coming up with stuff that goes with Peter's jokes, and then Daniel comes in, and then Justin comes in, and they're all trying to come up with stuff that goes with the jokes, because they only see the jokes right when they come there, and everything's just going flying by crazy, and it's all got a match. And that's all got to happen perfectly every day for 3 months. So you see, they couldn't do it. There's just no way. Every actor comes up with a punchline or setup, and it works perfectly with the other punchline or setup that they've been given from another actor, from another scene that they've never seen before and never heard before until that moment they come in the booth. Does anyone believe this would ever happen?
Did IQs just drop sharply while I was away?
Originally, they were paper scripts. Like the actor would be in the booth with a paper script, would be a big binder, and it would be like the master script. And so if there was a line that needed to be changed, the director would come up with the line, and he would have to tell the actor the line, and then the actor would write the line down, and then the actor would do the line, and then they'd record it and go on. So it's like a lot of time. So I thought, surely there's a better way to do this. And so I talked to the tech people, and I said, is there a way that you can, like, they see their monitor with the video on it, but they also see my script? Like, can you mirror my screen to theirs, is what basically I wanted. And they were like, yeah, we can do it. Sure, yeah, I guess. And I can't believe no one thought of this before, because I'm not a genius. And so I was able to change the lines on the fly really quick and just type them. They saw them right away. There was no more paper script where they were having to write the line, play secretary. They didn't have to do that anymore. That I could just do it for them, and things would go quicker and simpler. And they never paid me any extra money for that either. And I still save them to this day. I'm saving them thousands of dollars a day. The previous show that I had before Ghost Stories was Gilgamesh, and I went in with the translation. I had scriptwriters before, but I kind of preferred my own script to theirs, and you have to change stuff anyway when you get in there because not all the flaps fit. I mean, I've done it for a couple of years now. The lip flaps came really easy to me, and I could do it pretty fast, and I was able to juice the script right there, come up with it on the spot. So when Ghost Stories came up, I was like, oh, well, maybe I can do it with this too. When the show is finished, the writer and director of the show has to do the credits for the Chiron people to put on the screen. And so when I was doing the credits, I was like, well, the cast did, because they did. They ad-libbed a couple of lines here and there, maybe 24 max, maybe if that much. But I mean, the lines were great. I mean, I'll take a good line from anybody. They had a good line, boom, it went in there. I think the very first line in the video that I'm talking about running jokes, the very first running joke is one that Patton did.
You're an older classman. Giggity, giggity.
Yeah, if it was funny, if they thought it was funny or everybody laughed, sure, I went in, I'll take a joke from anybody. So I was like, if I gave the main cast co-writing credit, maybe the haters, because they're precious actors, had a hand in writing the script, that maybe they would be more lenient to it, because once again, it was my job to make the show sell. And if my name was attached to it and that was a detriment, I was going to do what I could to make that not a detriment. So I had the cast included in the writing thing. Yes, I know it sounds crazy, and I know it sounds almost more realistic that a bunch of people could do the show making it up as they go along, but that's not the way it happened. So when Ghost Stories came up, I imagined how I was going to change the characters and get all that down. I wrote the first episode. The first episode, yes, was definitely written. So here's what happened. The show was ad-libbed, but it was ad-libbed by me. But I'm a writer, so you can't call it ad-libbing. It's just writing. Writing really, really fast, but it's writing. I made it up as I went along. I know that sounds crazy, and I don't know what possessed me to think I could do this, because I look back on it now and go like, that's fucking crazy. I mean, that I thought I could make up a whole show. And it's not like I was flying blind. I mean, I knew, I'd seen all the episodes once, so I kind of knew vaguely what was going on, but I had the actors there, and I had my right hand man was my sound engineer. I do right here because he was to my right. And he was a great guy. He was half Hispanic, half black. And he was my right-hand man, and the actors were. If they laughed, if I made them laugh, then I knew I had a good joke. So it's not like I was like just making shit up and not knowing whether it was any good. I had a sounding board to tell me if the jokes weren't good. For those of you who hated my script changes before, there you go on that one.
Don't fuck with me, fellas!
Yes, I find it very ironic that the very thing you hated me for is the thing that now has caused the greatest dump ever to be made is now a thing. And it's like huge. And I'm so humbled by that and so thankful and so amazed every day that it happened. I saw someone post that there was a writer's room that came up with all this stuff, which I think is so funny because we're not that Hollywood. Anime is not that Hollywood. So no, it's just one person with a script, and that time it was me making it up as I went along, which is kind of I'm really proud of that. And someone, like I said, I was proud of it in my book, and someone like pulled that quote out, and then it became, so me saying I'm proud of it became Steven's an egomaniac. And I just got to tell anybody who says that, writers are the most insecure weirdos you'll ever meet. And I'm the worst of the bunch. Years ago, I couldn't even take a compliment. Even when I was in advertising and I won awards and any accolade I got in anime, I just couldn't handle it. And so I just put the shit away and I got rid of it, got it out of my mind. It made me really uncomfortable. So it was just like, get rid of that, on to the next thing, just trying to do my job. That's all I'm doing. And it took me a long time to be able to look at my work and go like, yeah, this is, oh shit. I really did good work. I did good here. I can feel good about this. And I don't know whether I was afraid of looking conceited or thinking I was going to be conceited or whatever, but I finally embraced that and I'm like, yeah, of course I'm proud of it. And there was one guy who did Scamboli, who did a video on ghost stories, and he came to my defense because they were calling me egomaniac, and he said like, the dude should be proud of it because it's awesome. And so thank you, Scamboli, for doing that. And thank you all for being so supportive. Those who were paying really close attention to the whole series knew the real story because of the last line in the last episode, which you really have to listen to catch. It was at the end of the recording session, and I was kind of tired. I just said, Rob, make up something, whatever you want to do. Just say something. Just go ahead. And because there were no flaps or anything. There were no flaps or anything like that to fit. So he could say whatever he wanted to. And he said,
I'd like to thank my agent, my manager, Stephen Foster, for writing such a gay-friendly but still mainstream script that spoke to the...
And now I'm glad it's there because it's like the only proof I have that I'm telling the true story. And if you heard any of the actors say that it was ad-lib the whole time, they weren't lying to you. They were just doing what the company told them to do. They weren't writers, but they're the best fucking actors I've ever worked with. Their work is sonically equal to anything Looney Tunes ever put out. I think they're all brilliant. I think even the walk-ons have a good performance. It's just, we did pour our heart. It pisses me off. They didn't give a shit about the show. And no, we worked our asses off on that show. I'm doing this channel to thank you guys for turning Ghost Stories from a little cult hit to this giant thing. I mean, it's comedy canon now. Everything's bigger than me now. It's bigger than the show. It's y'all's. You've embraced the show and made it your own. And I can't tell you how incredible that is that y'all did that for us. It's overwhelming and it's humbling, and I can't thank you enough. I mean, people pray for this kind of shit to happen in their careers, and I can't believe it happened to a dumbass like me. So thank you so much. You've all been so great about the show, and I love hearing you quote the lines. It's so flattering. I'm just glad you liked it. I'm so glad you liked it. I'm glad you got the joke. And one more thing about that. You guys are the nicest fucking posters I've ever seen in any chat room, in any YouTube video. When someone does, the rare occasional person, because it's rare, when they come in and say like, oh, I don't like this should be canceled, this is terrible, it's racist, or whatever. And none of you jump on them. You never go, oh, you're stupid, you're an idiot, fuck off, or it never gets like Twitter level disgusting. It never gets disgusting at all. You just gently like say like, hey, no, they're kidding. It's just a joke. No one's this racist, homophobic, sexist, genderist. I mean, it's just a big joke. It's all in fun. I mean, there's no way this is serious. And you're so kind to those people that don't get it. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm just so glad you like the show. All I ever wanted to do was make people laugh. I just wanted to make people happy. And the people that have written me and have said thank you for it, and especially the people that said it got you through depression. I suffer from depression, so I know what a huge statement that is. You can read all about it in my book. And those comments, it didn't cure anything. It didn't like release me from depression, but in a way it saved me. You might have been just making a comment thinking no one was listening or no one was reading it, but I was on the other line dying. You guys saved my life. So I'll be forever grateful, which is why this channel is here. I figured there's so many questions about it. You guys have so many questions about it, and there are so many fun stories about the show. I figured if I did a YouTube channel, it would be easier than me going in all the comment section, writing everybody an individual note, because that would never happen because there are tens of thousands of comments. So this is for you guys. Please subscribe, like, share, give this to everybody you know. Who knows? Maybe if we show them that there's still a market for ghost stories out there, they'll give us a second season. I don't know. But thank you for your support. I love you guys so much. And stay tuned to the channel because we're going to have fun after this. There's nothing else to say but thank you. Thanks a lot. There is one more thing to say. You might have noticed that there have been 2 ghosts. Okay. During this show, co-hosting with me. That's because I can't just have a white ghost. That'd be racist. No one on the show was racist. We're not racist here either. Equal opportunity.
Listen, Betty, don't start up with your white zone shit again.